1967 U.S. Open Golf. The 1967 U.S. Open was the 67th U.S. Open, held June 15, 18 at Baltusrol Golf Club in Springfield, New Jersey, west of New York City. Jack Nicklaus shot a final round 65 and established a new U.S. Open record of 275, 4 strokes ahead of runner-up Arnold Palmer, the 1960 champion. It was the second of Nicklaus' 4 U.S. Open titles and the 7th of his 18 major championships. Nicklaus' record score surpassed the 276 of Ben Hogan in 1948 at Riviera. His final round 65-5 tied the U.S. Open record for lowest final 18 holes, broken 6 years later by Johnny Miller at Oakmont. The 275 record stood for 13 years, when Nicklaus broke it on the same course in 1980. For Palmer, it was his 4th runner-up finish at the U.S. Open in 6 years. The earlier 3 were in playoffs 1962, 1963, 1966. Hogan, age 54, played in his final major. He shot 72 in each of the first 2 rounds and tied for 34th place. After winning the Masters in 1965 and 1966, Nicklaus missed the cut there 2 months earlier, which also kept him off the first Ryder Cup team for which he was eligible. Other than a withdrawal in 1983, it was his only missed cut at Augusta from 1960–1993. Lee Trevino, then a club pro from El Paso, finished 5th at Baltusrol in only his 2nd major championship. He made the cut in his debut in 1966 at Olympic in San Francisco. The 5th place earnings of $6,000 allowed him to play in enough tournaments the rest of the 1967 season to earn his tour card for 1968. The high finish gave Trevino an exemption into the U.S. Open in 1968 at Oak Hill, which he won. This was the 5th U.S. Open at Baltusrol and the 2nd on the lower course it previously hosted in 1954. The upper course was the site in 1936, and the defunct old course in 1903 and 1915. The U.S. Open returned in 1980, also won by Nicklaus, and its most recent appearance was in 1993. The PGA Championship was held at the lower course in 2005 and 2016. With his 7th major won at age 27, Nicklaus went over 3 years before his next at the Open Championship in 1970. Course layout. Lower course. Source: lengths of the course for previous major championships. 7,027 yards, 6,425 m, par 70 1954 U.S. Open. 6,866 yards, 6,278 m, par 72 1936 U.S. Open upper course. 6,212 yards, 5,680 m, par 74 1915 U.S. Open old course. The old course was plowed under in 1918. 6,003 yards, 5,489 m, par 1903 U.S. Open old course. Past champions in the field. Made the cut. Boros withdrew from the final round after receiving word of his mother's death. Missed the cut. Source: round summaries. First round. Thursday, June 15, 1967, C7. Marty Fleckman, a 23-year-old amateur from Port Arthur, Texas, shot an opening round 67 to lead the field by 2 in his first U.S. Open. Source: second round. Friday, June 16, 1967, C7. Source: third round. Saturday, June 17, 1967. With a 1 under 69 on Saturday, amateur Fleckman was the surprise 54-hole leader, a stroke ahead of defending champion Billy Casper and former champions Nicklaus 1962 and Palmer 1960. Source: final round. Sunday, June 18, 1967. Fleckman wilted under the pressure, shot a final round 80 plus 10 and tied for 18th place. Alongside in the final pairing, Casper carded a 72 for 282 plus 2, 7 strokes behind in 4th place. The championship became a duel between Nicklaus and Palmer in the penultimate pairing. Nicklaus birdied 5 of his first 8 holes to open up a 4-stroke advantage over Palmer, and that is how they finished. At the Parmenas 5/18th, Nicklaus played safe with a 1-iron off the tee, but it went right and required a recovery shot from the rough. The third shot was an uphill 230 yards, 210 from the fairway with another 1-iron, then he sank the birdie putt from 22 feet 7 for the record. Fleckman held on for low amateur by a stroke over Bob Murphy, who shot 69. Source: Scorecard. Final round. Cumulative tournament scores relative to par. Source: